Hey, super learners. Today we're going to continue with our Animals in Winter project, and we are going to learn a little bit more about hibernation, which is the name or title of our story today. So we're going to learn about some of the animals that do hibernate and different types of hibernation. So our name or title is Hibernation, and our author is Tori Kosara. So hibernation. Every year when winter rolls in, it is too cold for many animals to live comfortably. Food also becomes difficult to find. Many animals, such as birds, migrate. Say migrate. That's when they move from one place to a warmer place, to warmer places. Other animals stay put and sleep through the cold season. This is called hibernation. Say hibernation. Good. So this is a picture of birds migrating. When an animal is ready to hibernate, it looks for a warm, safe place, such as a cave or a burrow, to curl up in for the winter. So a burrow is a hole in the ground that is used for protection by an animal. Like we read the other day about, was it the woodchuck has a burrow, and other animals do too. These areas are well protected from harsh winter weather and keep animals safe from predators. Remember, if an animal is a predator, that means they're hunting to eat the food. If you are prey, then you're the one that's getting hunted. You're the one that's going to be the food. Animals settle into these safe spots and fall into a deep sleep. So here's a little chipmunk. Some hibernators, such as woodchucks, chipmunks, hedgehogs, and bats, sleep so deeply that they may appear to be dead. So they look dead, they're not actually dead. Their breathing and heart rates drop to very low levels, and it is difficult to wake them. These types of hibernators are called true hibernators. And here is a hedgehog. I know some of you are like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, a hedgehog is a real animal. Are hedgehogs usually blue? No, they are not. So this is a hedgehog hibernating, and he is one of the ones that is a true hibernator. Really hard to wake the true hibernators up. Other hibernators, such as bears and raccoons, are lighter sleepers during the winter months. They can be woken easily, and they sometimes come out of their sleeping place to find food or water. A short period of hibernation like this is called torpor. Say torpor. Good, so that's for your lighter hibernators. They sleep for short amounts of time. Sometimes they get up. So that short hibernation is called torpor. I love this picture. Chipmunks. So whenever you say, hear somebody say chipmunk cheeks, this is what they're talking about. Before cuddling up for winter, hibernators try to eat a lot because many of them don't eat at all during hibernation because they're sleeping. Even the lighter sleepers that can wake up eat very little. Much of the food animals eat to prepare for hibernation is stored as fat. This helps them to sleep through the winter without eating much or anything at all. The extra fat gives them all the nutrients and energy they need to survive while asleep. The food they eat helps the animals to store brown fat. This thick, extra layer of fat is special because it helps to keep the animals warm. Brown fat makes heat, which helps to protect a hibernating animal's organs, such as the brain, while it sleeps through the cold winter. So all living things have organs that kind of keep them alive. So you and I have organs. We have our brain, we have our heart, our lungs that help us breathe. And then we have other organs like the liver and kidneys and stomach that help kind of your body function. And when these deep sleepers, these true hibernators, sleep all winter long, the temperatures drop and it gets really cold. So this extra layer of brown fat helps protect them from freezing. It's pretty cool. So there's a little chipmunk all burrowed up. So cute. A special substance in the animal's blood tells them when it's time to store up food, search for a shelter, and finally go to sleep. So there's something in their blood, some special thing that lets them know, hey, it's time to start getting food and start saving up enough. It's time to start looking for a shelter, which is a safe place to stay for the winter. And then, of course, go to sleep, which is my favorite part of hibernation. So at this point, this is where the bear is looking for all the food that he can get and maybe looking for a nice cave or a den to sleep in. The normal body temperature of most warm-blooded animals is between 97 degrees Fahrenheit and 109 degrees Fahrenheit. We are considered warm-blooded animals. So our temperature is roughly average, what they say is 98.6. So like in the mornings, you've been coming in and getting your temperature taken. You get your temperature taken in here. Usually it's around that 97 to, we hope, no more than 99, because that lets us know your body's fighting an infection. But some animals, their temperature can go really high, like what would be our fever. A little dormouse, hey. The body temperature of a true hibernator, remember that's the one that sleeps all through the winter, drops to about 32 degrees Fahrenheit while it sleeps. That is the same temperature at which water freezes. So at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when water, happen to have mine right here, would turn into ice. It freezes. But luckily, the animal's brown fat keeps it warm enough to survive the cold temperatures. So that brown fat is so important to them. Little dormouse. A woodchuck is a true hibernator. Woodchucks' teeth are constantly growing. They're big teeth like this. Those keep growing. They grow so fast that woodchucks have to gnaw on their food just to wear them down. So when you're gnawing on something, I think of like a lollipop or like a popsicle when you bite. You might think of babies do this when their teeth are coming in. They like to chew on things, like everything, and it helps for them have their teeth come in, but for them, make their teeth smaller. But during hibernation, a woodchuck's teeth stop growing, which is lucky because it's not eating. It does not eat during hibernation because it's a true hibernator. I think of woodchucks and beavers. They have the teeth. Bats, we learned about these guys earlier. Bats are true hibernators that must find a shelter that stays above freezing all winter. So that freezing temperature is 32 degrees. They need to find something warmer than that for the whole winter. A cave where bats or other hibernating animals gather is called a hibernaculum. Can you say that? Hibernaculum. Oh, and just because it's fun. Hibernaculum. How many syllables? Good. So they're the bats hibernating in a cave. Some cold-blooded animals, such as frogs and toads and other reptiles, or amphibians in this case, bury themselves in mud while they are hibernating. The mud keeps them warm and safe until spring. So there are some animals like frogs, toads, lizards, snakes. They are what we call cold-blooded animals, and the temperature outside kind of regulates or changes their temperature on their body inside. So it's very important for them to also hibernate to be safe during the winter. Snakes also hibernate. They like to stay together to keep themselves extra warm. They like to sleep in places such as beneath rocks or in other burrows. So pre-coronavirus, we used to say, okay, guys, huddle up together and you guys will stay warm. But now, obviously, we can't. We have to keep our space between us. But when they are together like this, it brings all that body heat together. It's kind of cool. Unlike most fish, Antarctic cod enter a hibernation-like state during the winter. So it's like hibernation, kind of. Like other true hibernators, the fish's heart rates slow down. Unlike other hibernators, these fish rest on the seafloor until the spring sun returns. So they stay at the bottom of either the river, the lake, or the pond or ocean, wherever they are. They just stay at the bottom. Now, the problem with that is since they're hibernating, they're almost like true hibernators. If they're in that deep sleep down at the bottom, they can become prey to other animals. So be careful, little Antarctic cod. Estivation is similar to hibernation. Say estivation. During long periods of very high temperatures or drought, drought is when you don't have rain for a really long time. Some animals like snails and crocodiles estivate in order to survive. The animals find a safe place to rest. They eat little to no food, and their heart and breathing rates slow down. So estivation is similar to hibernation. So hibernation is during the cold winter months, and estivation is when it's really, really, really hot or when there's been no rain for a really long time. Because even those animals need to be protected too during those times. After several weeks of hibernation, animals wake slowly because they have very little energy. Luckily, the fat they've stored gives them just enough energy to search for more food. The animals will then eat and sleep normally until the next year when they must prepare for another long season of hibernation. So we have our bears and squirrel. Squirrel. And that was hibernation. I hope you guys enjoyed this informational text with a lot of good facts and information about animals that hibernate and how they hibernate. So keep it in mind for when we make our chart later, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.